Obenseuer is one of those games that's difficult to explain without making it sound completely insane, because it kind of is. At its core, a survival RPG, life sim, property management game, crafting game, there aren't enough people playing this mashed together. Amazing game. It's actually it looks like horror, but it's actually pretty nice. The replay value is insane as well. You should play this again and try different options.
Obenseuer is a game about living in a quarantine slum, managing a rundown apartment building, dealing with addiction, farming crops, manufacturing questionable substances, committing crimes, and somehow becoming a successful landlord. Obenseuer is considered at its core a survival RPG, a life sim, property management game, crafting game, and immersive sim all mashed together. You play as someone that gets dumped into Obenseuer, a miserable quarantine district of Salzburg where no one can leave. It's filled with poverty, addiction, crime, and very bizarre characters. Through a bureaucratic mistake, you become the landlord of a giant unfinished apartment complex. You will renovate the apartment slowly, step by step, furnishing your room, renting properties to residents, building workshops, factories, growing crops, manufacture products, trade, explore the district, steal things, complete quests, break into places, and much more. The game, to me, has a slight horror vibe to it, but it just shows how dark and bottom of the barrel Obenseuer really is. Cause in reality, there is no horror, no jump scares, no scary things, nothing. It's just the style of the game. There are many stats in this game that you will have to manage, from happiness to bathroom needs, alcohol, nicotine, and mushroom addiction, and rubber duck addiction. You can generally beat your addictions, but you will have to fight mental health, maybe take antidepressants, or other medications that keep other things at bay, like HP, fungal disease, and more. It's a very complex game, and doing the basic task of upgrading a wall, for example, becomes a multi-day quest of gathering all the building materials by scavenging trash cans, apartments, and also getting very sidetracked because you need to check on your crops, refill your water, wash your stolen items to make them legit so the police won't get you, using the bathroom, having to go home to go take your meds, or converting your money. Talking about money, there are two currencies, OC or Obenseuer coins and RM or real money. The conversion rate is roughly 10 OC for 1 real money, and they are used for different purposes. While at the pharmacy you might need real money to buy a prescription your doctor gave you or that you stole, take a stroll to the supermarket and you can sell your trash for OC, or buy items with OC. This place, Obenseuer, is in the same universe of another game by the same developers, called Infra, where you explore locations and buildings, taking pictures of compromised infrastructure, or infractions in the safety code. The gameplay loop is very chaotic. You can go from property management and crafting or buying furniture to a legal basement factory to investigating a mysterious new area you lockpicked into. Now, before I get into any criticism or spoilers, leave a like and subscribe as it helps me tons. Alright, so my main issue with this game is that you sometimes really need to cheat to make it playable. I've fallen off the map once, been teleported to jail after exiting my building, and jumping on top of somewhere bugged that got me completely stuck in place. Also, sometimes if you slide off a surface, let's say a bag on the floor, you can quote-unquote die of terminal velocity. This is why constant saves are recommended and preferably alternating between slots so you have multiple checkpoints you can come back to. I've played for about 60 hours so far, and I have restarted completely 3 times, mainly after soft-locking myself by not having recent saves and having a terminal illness, for example. I tried to figure out the game completely without any guides or walkthroughs, which wasn't hard, but definitely wasn't easy either, because I get sidetracked too easily and end up working on 5 things at the same time, instead of just doing the single quest I need to progress. However, this game puts no pressure on you in terms of quests, and you can do them whenever you're ready. I found that quests are great though, because they unlock new areas that allow you to generally make some money, either by stealing from apartments, finding manufacturing areas, unlocking new NPCs, or simply by being rewarded for completing the quest with some sweet RM. Exploring the map is pretty fun, by the way. There are items in every little corner, sometimes kind of hidden, and it forces you to be thorough. The items also randomly respawn, so for example, you can loot a trash can, and in a day or two, there will be more items there for you. There are also safes in various locations, which, if you know the code, wink wink guides section on Steam, can be very helpful to you. Some places can only be accessed with an axe or sledgehammer, which you can buy, steal, or find throughout the run. There are also other items like calendars and watches, which are super helpful. There are different tiers to everything in the game. Mushrooms can range from crap to fantastic, and things you can drink can also have different tiers. For example, sewage water would be terrible for you, but mushroom water is pretty nice, it makes you happier. Now getting into spoilers a bit more, do not, and I repeat, do not trust the duck man. I'm half joking because if you carry enough rubber ducks in your inventory, it becomes a permanent mood boost. Thanks, weird duck guy. There are multiple ways to go about the storyline too. You can gain access to Max Smash by kicking in the door, talking him into opening it, or lockpicking the door. All of which have different interactions, including Max's evil door, which, come on man, stop trying to talk to it. You look more insane than Max Smash himself. As a landlord, you have a ton to do, especially because you can't just rent apartments to people that simply. Each possible tenant has their own requirements for what type of apartment they want, from size to utilities to specific upgrades. There are multiple parts of an apartment you can upgrade, and there are multiple levels of upgrades, each more expensive and with harder requirements to fill, whether in terms of materials or utilities. Of course, the more complex an apartment is in terms of upgrades, the more expensive rent will be. Also, some people move in alone, while others move in with their partner or family. You can have your own apartment too, which you can renovate just like the other ones, and add furniture that you buy or craft. Talking about crafting, there are multiple skills you can level up, including crafting. Skills include brewing, mashing, cleaning, electronics, bribery, farming, etc. These skills can affect quality, crafting time, and failure chances. All of these things exist as part of a chain, and there is always something to do in Obenseuer every day. Well, depending on the day. You see, days actually matter in this game. Some shops close on certain days, and most shops have their own schedule, so you have time frames where you can use certain shops. You also can't really sell stolen items, so to take those items to a shop that will take them involves having a special cleaner and a dishwasher, where you can wash stolen items to make them legit. These things make the game's progression very different from a normal game. It's not about gain XP, get better equipment, and complete quests, and eventually you stop asking yourself, how do I finish this quest, and start asking yourself, how the heck am I going to accomplish anything when I need to piss, my mushrooms are making me depressed, my crops need attention, I'm out of medication, and the police probably know I stole this washing machine. Understanding this unique gameplay loop is essential to progressing in Obenseuer and understanding the game. What I mentioned about Max Smash and his evil door earlier isn't unique. Obenseuer doesn't give you a linear way to play the game. There are tons of approaches to problems you might have, and even different ways to complete quests. It makes you stop and think, how do I solve this? Instead of just giving you some dialogue that you need to skip through, just to get what you want. Now about the HP system. The HP system isn't as simple as action results into HP down or up. When you go to the doctor, you can check multiple things: addictions, physical health, mental health, radioactivity, and fungal disease. All of these affect your HP and may require special medication, sometimes over the counter, sometimes prescription medications. If your mental health reaches a low enough point, your character will actually even hurt itself, which will then require bandaging or adhesive band-aids. The addictions are very complex too, making the main and harder one to quit mushrooms, and then other addictions that you either spawn with or develop. Up there is gambling addiction and rubber duck addiction, which are, let's say, unique, but this game is everything but normal. That said, the game is only in early access and there's a huge content-filled update coming in called the Bazaar update. All these small issues I complained about will hopefully get patched in the near future, and we can only truly hope for better days in the depressing world that is Obenseuer. The game is worth every cent of its price in my opinion, and I recommend you all to try it at some point. From my side, that's about it. Hopefully you enjoyed this video, and I hope you can support me if possible. Bye bye!